stuff together. And I'm like, come in. Want to ask me a question, kind of. I be over here chilling with the birds, like boom. Post workout. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh yeah, that's right. Thugs, they feel it too. You know what I'm saying? We're going ahead and get situated, man. My God. Put a little crown on. I know they won't. I'm a little hat. You know. I'm gonna get my little thug some need. But yeah, this is post-workout vibes. Let me fix myself up real fast. Y'all probably see like, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, fix myself up. I'm trying to get situated out here. I'm tucked down and it's sunny, so it's feeling real good. All right. So, man, we're jumping into it, man. We're going to talk about men's health. A lot of men, they kind of talk about this a little bit, you know, but they kind of stay away from the semen retention stuff because, you know, probably playing with yourself a little bit. I understand. I know what's up, man, you know, but at the same time, it's a little, you know, uncalled for, especially when you're trying to achieve a certain goal. Some people are born with money. Some people can work and go and do things for certain things with money, you know. But it takes a lot to be disciplined when you're dealing with, you know, your own thoughts. That's a hell of a thing to do. When you're facing that dude, that's kind of hard to face because at that point you're facing the Most High. You know, we got an apartment because, you know, I'm down here and people might walk past and stuff. I'm out here in the sun and shit. They can't be out here too long. Let me look up. Make a bro come over here. That's crazy. Alright. I don't know what's up with this dude. Trying to attract women and shit. Like, look, man, I'm sitting there, go to your little corner and attract the woman over on your own. That's why semen retention is really important, man. A lot of health people who work out and stuff like that, they don't really talk about the semen retention part. That's like really what makes you a man, you know. The more you kind of like, you know, have orgasms, the more that makes you less of a man. You're depleting yourself of God's oil for one, which is that light that you got born into your sacral system. Oh yeah, we just did a little post-workout vibe, boy. Get that Bruce Lee going on. We getting the cut game pop. But check this out, though. First day after the Sabbath. But anyways, though, you know, but so you got this light that you're supposed to cultivate every month, you know, and people kind of neglect that light and don't really know. So now we're bringing it back into the game. And a lot of little, you know, workout people, health people, or wherever you want to call them, they're like, you know, put this down. They kind of stay away from this subject unless they're gonna, you know, talk to people and try to interview how they feel about it. You know what I'm saying? About the semen retention, and they're kind of asking females, you know, what they feel about it and all that stuff. Females really don't know. You know, it's all revolves around the man. The man is supposed to have the discipline. If we got the discipline, we healing the world. Reason being is because you ain't out here giving your seed away. Or you ain't buzzing in and letting it be on a napkin and flushing it down the toilet somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to do that. Let me get the last drop of this little water. You know what I'm saying? And not valuing that oil, that God's oil. You get punished for that. In real life, you lose out on all your gifts, your feeling, your happiness, your modes of being, you know? You wonder where stress comes from. A lot of stress comes from the gut, man. Especially if you're eating the wrong way. A lot of people want to show you, a lot of these workout people, they want to show you how to eat 5-6 meals a day and shit. You know, not how to detox, not to get the fruit, to keep the lymphatic fluid moving so you can be clear, clean, effective thoughts. It's sharp, you know what I'm saying? You're not ruminating on things. Even when you have, you know, Mercury retrograde, you're not going to be in a ruminating thought. You can be able to master your thoughts easier when you do semen retention. But a lot of these people, they're just dealing with the flesh a lot more. And I'm not saying that as a religious person, but dealing with the flesh is like, you know, hey, I'm feeling good, thank you. You're dealing with the flesh is kind of like, you know, you're catering to that. And that's more of a pleasurable thing. And it's not like a mating thing. It's, you know, once as a man, I'm talking about all men of the world, if we do this together, I can guarantee you that the world will be a better place. The world will heal. Because you start thinking from your big head now. You're not thinking from the little head. This goes all the way down to, you know, people who are on the streets, homeless or whatever, to the big people in the big corporations, man. once they make a stand, it's like, yo, man, let me make a stand, because this is what will make you, you know, think twice about war. I mean, really, naturally, you don't really want war, but when you're dealing with a physical thing as a culture, people kind of wouldn't mind seeing some hellish shit, you know, and that's a hard thing to deal with, you know what I mean? So once you get your semen retention under control, you get up to the heart chakra about 4 months. It takes about 4 months, man. You know, you start feeling good about life. You know, you won't be neglecting things. You're dealing with your abandonment traumas, your abandonment issues. You know, a lot of workout people just want you to get in and do some sets and get out, and that's it, you know. But you got to deal with mental health too, man. Mental wealth and mental awareness and emotional wealth and emotional awareness, because a lot of us grew up in, you know, in toxic environments and toxic societies, man, and shit, and don't know how to beat the fight or flight response. That's a hard ass thing to beat, because you're facing yourself now. You know, so as a man, it's your power lies really within your testosterone. That's really where it's at. If you don't have that under grips, you'll respond and react to other people who are in that cluster B personality disorder, like complex, who are like, you know, they still have that narcissistic big I, little U syndrome. Even if they do worship or obsess with you, you know what I'm saying? They have that part of myself. They have that about them, about themselves. Only brain is short string. White T, I don't know what he said. White T short string, man. But hey, how you doing, man? Thanks for just jumping in to say what's up. The light hitting and stuff like that. I'll be working out, getting your fruits, berries, and your melons, and not jacking off and watching no porn if you're a man and shit. Cause we ain't having that over here. A lot of these red pill people, they kind of want you, and it's not like red pill with the consciousness of, you know, of reality, like, yo, how to better yourself, but it's the red pill mentality when they're talking about dealing with women. You know what I'm saying? And the type of women they're dealing with is most likely a narcissistic woman or borderline personality disordered woman, you know, to get butt hurt. They can't keep her with money or some type of status that they have. They're kind of relying on that. Come here, Smith. It's a sparrow. They're trying to rely on that, you know what I'm saying? Instead of their own light and facing their own abandonment traumas. They're kind of treating the woman, a good woman, bad damn near at the beginning, and not even giving her a chance to see if she's actually, you know, a pathological, cluster B personality disordered person. Because some people can just have traits, man. You know what I'm saying? They're not all the way pathological. They can just have traits. Ain't that right, Thuggy Duck? You know what I mean? You can heal the traits. Pathological shit, that's hard as hell to heal. So in order to do that, you really gonna have to like do some working out, changing your diet up. What y'all see over there? Y'all see something? They be seeing the spirits and stuff before I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look at it, it's like peeking. But yeah, you know, working out and stuff like that helps you out, especially with breakups. A lot of people be salty during breakups because you're really dealing with another person who is cluster B personality disorder, another narcissistic individual. Even if you're a narcissist or have narcissistic traits, you know, you're using each other for each other's statuses. You know, just give an example. Like even with Beyonce and Jay-Z, everybody use their names and shit. But you know, even though that's some demonic shit going on, but they both need each other. It's kind of like psychopathic at the same time, because all narcissists, you know, they deal with sociopathic tendencies, and sociopaths all have narcissistic traits. So they have to use each other for each other's status. And whoever's in the way get messed up. All right, let me get their little stuff out the way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got haters over here. When people be looking at me, they be hating and shit because I could be out here like, I only need a few people. I get more love than hate. But they know not to walk up to me and shit and be face to face. Ain't that right, Thuggy Dub? Hey, what's happening? So do you watch cool people like and listen to King Von? Nah, I don't listen to King Von and stuff like that. We had King Vons in our neighborhood growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like we all had King Vons in our neighborhood regularly. Some King Vons died. Some King Vons got a chance to live and be in prison for 25 plus years. Or some King Vons didn't get a chance to see. Y'all just happen to see a version of the hood where the King Von actually happened and got murdered and stuff, you know. But that's all in our family, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people, that's a normal thing. But I don't know everybody else though, not the new people. But yeah, but working out, back to semen retention, man. Getting back to getting back to semen retention, getting back to you know, not spilling your seed and not busting nuts. You ain't gotta say on these hoes like that, but I can say it like that because there's females who got that Jezebel spirit too. You know what I'm saying? And there's some females who don't, but that Jezebel spirit comes from narcissistic personality disorder and sociopath. You know, or borderline too, because you know, being molested, girls was molested too. That happened in our family as well. In our families, you know what I mean? Where girls is being molested by the men, and shit, by the uncles and stuff like that. And so, when you have incest to that degree, and people don't really look at it as that bad, but it is. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of develop abandonment traumas, a high sexual drive. They turned on your Kundalini energy a little bit too soon, and as with a boy, you know, you start depleting yourself when you're having wet dreams and stuff like that by the time 13, 14 years. I was fortunate enough to not have wet dreams like that. I thought about girls a lot, enough to have wet dreams, but apparently I didn't until later in the life when they started, you know, attacking me and shit later. But they know this stuff, you know what I mean? It's a secret for the boys. He really had, for men in America, we already had that under down. We had it down pat. That's how we was able to be so, you know, so spiritual and shit. We weren't just releasing our children at like 15, 16 years old. We got to go back to that a little older. And the women's half his age plus 5. That's all good. She's mature. But what if he's 100 and she's 50? She got to be 55? No. Yeah, man, I'm 100 years old. I can pull me a 55-year-old bro. You see these 55-year-old bros now? That was like a 20-something-year-old to a 100-year-old at that time and shit, nigga. Like, yeah, we pulling in, man. Still doing the damn thing and shit, bro. Nah. All right. Anyhow, though. All right, so take that. So, yeah, that light that you got within, you just don't want to go because I got to move. The light that you got on the inside, young man, it can change the world if we all do it. The women, they get back into play. The women that get into play, they'll become sexy, even more sexy than you can withstand. All their little antics that they do, it's fun. You know what I'm saying? They know how to be sexy, say it like that. I can say creatures, but you know, people, they have multi-orgasms. Men can't. And that's where we got lost at, you know, thinking that you can go and have multi-orgasms, and then some men turn into, you know, transsexual women, basically, but they can't have, you know, orgasms like a woman. And once they really find that out, it's like you just basically have a sexual gratification desire to, you know, to do taboo things, you know, to have your Kundalini go the opposite direction. Like I say, a lot of workout people don't talk about this type of stuff. They'll jump into it and talk about semen retention months, like 30 days, da-da-da. Big bro, we out here, man. We done already we did the 30-day mark, 40 days, 90 days, back to, you know, 120. Already did on. We a straight stretch now. We already into the 7th year and shit now. You already know what happens when you release, when the Most High makes you release, when your body has to release without even being horny and shit. It's key. This is key in order for you to, you know, to keep yourself balanced. When you see superheroes, them motherfuckers is in shape. Superheroes is in shape. They're not lustful. They know when they go to all the goddamn worlds, man. They're gonna see so many pretty mortal women in the worlds and shit. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, they're gonna have to master their Kundalini and shit. You know, they have to master their energy, and that comes with the look. It ain't just like, oh, that nigga's just a shell of a man, almost like it's just what the hell you doing with you? What the hell you doing? Okay, never mind. So anyhow, though, yeah. So you didn't. And it's like, because you can tell a person who's like swole in the gym, or swole, they look like a shell. You know, if they ain't got no light, you know, because people won't be around them, people won't be attracted to them, people won't be walking up to you and shit, just even asking you a little shit, you know. But when you got the light and you ain't even got to be swollen, Jim. You got the light, love is coming up to you. It's a certain type of energy. But when you got it to match both the light and the actual, you know, nutrition and the discipline, that stands all the way out there. That light is actually put to work. You don't even have to eat a lot of food. You don't have to do a lot of stuff. So I got people over here looking at a nigga and shit. All the way, bro. You stand up a little bit. You test the next day too, bro. Yeah, you know, it's more than just learning how to. People say, oh, when you're doing push-ups, oh, you gotta go deeper, or your pull-ups, or da-da. It's only to, when you're working out, it's only to
the tension of the muscle. You work out and you think of that muscle. You don't think of nothing else. When you work in chest arch, you gotta put your shoulders to the back. That's the way you hit it. People want to do all this and you won't get that 3D look, because sometimes you may not have to be, you can't be in the gym, but you're still trying to get that 3D look. Instead of doing all the little slips and slides across the floor and shit, just push your shoulder to the back and boom, and work your chest. That's how that works. You know, we're gonna do videos on that, education on that. But yeah, to really touch on, you know, to get all the way around the board, we got to really touch on that semen, that the light that's within. That's the main thing, because without that, G, you ain't nothing. You just a shell. And women can tell that. They gonna tell that nowadays. They gonna tell if you just got a pocket full of money, but you just a shell. They gonna tell it. That's not gonna be the choice no more. It's all about the spirit currency now. You know, that's why people are hating on spirit currency and shit. Because you can build spirit currency, it's in the light body. And men do it through, you know, semen retention. Trust you me, you don't want to be lustful, man. You know what I'm saying? You never did want to be lustful anyways. But you can admire a woman. That's cool. There ain't nothing wrong with that. You just gonna take it like that and just go, huh? You know what I'm saying? What's up? You get all mushy with their little asses. So yeah, you know, but then you know too, it's about having heart. That's really what it is. That's why we ain't seek revenge on people. You know what I mean? Because you do got a heart. Sometimes some of the most horrific things happen. I mean, like my uncle, my grandma, which is my uncle's mom, got murdered on the way to his house. And hey, what's happening? Hey, what's going on with y'all? Peace. Thanks for joining up in this game. Yeah, you know, but the heart, you know, they placed the guy that murdered their mother in the same prison cell as him, man. He did 5 years with him and gave him a TV when he got out. That's on my dad's side. My mom's side was against. They would have got him. They would have got him. They were like, nah, nigga, you ain't gonna do that. But, you know, that happens. But anyways, that was my uncle. He ended up later got murdered in Minnesota. Minnesota is under wraps right now, man. It's under judgment, man. You know what I'm saying? I lived in Minnesota. That's why I had to bounce from. So I let y'all know. I already know what's going on. But anyhow, though, back to the semen retention. It's a spiritual thing, man. It's our weapon. It's your weapon in life. Look, watch out. Let me see what they're saying down here, man. So I'm from Turkey. Hey, I'm from Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi. That's on. You gotta look at that on the map in America. That's on the main. You know, the powers at work trying to tell us. And we got love for everybody, really. We got love for everybody. They got love for us. Still got love for everybody. Shoot. Y'all see in the near future when we have future tours to the dirty South, so y'all can see what the dirty South was. So we actually give y'all a tour. You're like, dang, this is really what y'all gonna see America for what it really is once we clean it up. Once everything gets cleaned up, then we get back again. Hey, right now, I ain't in Mississippi right now, though. I used to live in Minnesota where it was colder than a mother jumper, boy. Minnesota is Minnesota, and it's Snoda, and it's colder when I'm up there in the north. Hey, I'm gonna give y'all some bread over here. So yeah, you know. And then with the semen retention energy, it's really your feminine energy that you cultivate. It's really what that is. And that ain't got nothing to do with being gay. Man. You're just being in tune with nature. You just cool. You like gardens and stuff. You're taking care of your temple, your body. You actually, you know, you'll notice when people's not on that level. Because they all got all kinds of stuff they don't take that make them so aggressive in the gyms and stuff like that. And it's not about being like that. It's like, you know, if you notice if you don't work out, you know, you may be a little stressed if you're a man because your body's so used to working out that it's got to produce this natural testosterone, so you won't be upset, partner. So you won't be upset, you know. So basically, what this does is help you to, you know, when you produce this testosterone, it keeps you nice and strong and ward off all kinds of sicknesses and everything. Dude. It's a superpower that you have. You don't even have to eat that much. Pardon, a lot of your life. If you already been having sex, you know, if you already been having sex and looking, you know, at porn and stuff like that, it's time to heal off of that. That was just an attack on our spirits as a world thing, you know, because they attack us worldwide even when they use categories with porn, you know. they'll use any kind of categories, interracial, this, that, whatever kind of, you'll say dwarf peoples, whichever kind of fetish a mug got, they got it. Foot fetish, they don't care. They know it's all fleshy. So if you heal off of that, start cultivating that light, being a real G, like, you know what I'm saying, letting it go. Like, man, I ain't gonna mess with that. And then if anything, you'll make your own porn or something. But right now, just heal your spiritual body so you ain't gotta do all that. I guarantee you'll be with peace, world peace will come from that alone. Because men love to keep each other accountable. Once you get to a certain stage, it's like you don't want to go below that. It's like bench pressing. You don't want to go below that. So you're gonna make sure you hold another brother accountable. That's a man. Like, nigga, I know you ain't what you because once you lower that light, we'll all become, subjected to that low self again and shit. And hence, it's like a dopamine, it's like a drug almost. You don't want that. But then when you get higher up, you ain't gonna even worry about it. It's easier to master that. But this will help you master things like gambling, help you master things like manipulation, all the low stuff, man. Stealing, thieving, all that shit you don't want to do in yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's your low self. That don't mean you ain't got no heart if you don't do that. Just like, man, I don't feel like doing what the hell's of that. I don't need to do that. I can cultivate my manifestation powers. Still date women. Pardon me, you can still women. I know they went out on me and stuff, but you can still date women, go out. You're not having sex with them. You can be intimate. Be careful of that. You won't be lustful. You'll go out now. You'll like a date. You'll love a date. Shit. You can actually splurge on a date. Like, yo, man, I'm gonna take you on a date to the mainland. Right? You ain't never been to the Mall of America. Let me take you to the Mall of America. But right now, the mainland's it's going down. I wouldn't want to be in the Mall of America right now, probably. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to be anywhere. But yeah. Anyhow, only thing you can do is cultivate our happiness, man. Working out and, looking good while we're doing it. Feeling good, too. Putting on the right clothes if we can. I got, cotton stuff on now. We're gonna have cotton, workout stuff. Silk. All kind of things. You know what I'm saying? When we're gonna get into the business aspect of it. So we got to do that. Shoes and things of that nature to help your low back feel good and all of that, man. So we're going to actually it's a real health and wealth channel, and that definitely will acknowledge other individuals, as they go on, people who added on to, working out, even if they were funny and stuff like that, I still acknowledge, hey, knowledge borns equality, so it equals everything. So it's like, I can learn from everything, whether it's an ant, or someone who's doing something crappy. So, yeah, we're going to add that all in, But right now, the most important thing is for a man is definitely semen retention. It's going to help you work out even more. And if you do work out, get your little pre-workout. We're going to have pre-workouts too. Clean pre-workouts. I'm going to have a clean pre-workout. The Fruitarian way. Fruitarian BCAAs, all that. It's coming around. I'm going to make it. I'm around. So, but right now, the least amount of toxicity in your body as possible. Go ahead and get that workout in. Sweat. Get that stuff out. Don't eat as often. Eat some fruit after the workout if you don't got no BCAAs. Feel good and clear about yourself. Man, what else is better than that? You can go out, ride your little bike or whatever you do that's more nature. You still use your body. Don't get so used to the convenience of things of just, rolling in the whip. That's cool when you roll up and, don't let the female know that you even got a car. You surprise her with it later or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I didn't know you had that. Like, yeah, I like to walk. I like to stroll, you know what I mean? Or something like that. I use the bike. Hey, you gotta get off her back right now. I like to use the bike lanes and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Not the motorbikes. Have fun. Get that sweating on. That's really what moves the lymphatic fluid. That's what keeps you happy, really. Because if you're just full of food, you're gonna be groggy, man. And the ebook's coming too, P. How not to eat to live. So you'll be hella groggy, man. You'll be, you don't want to be hella groggy. Sitting around, depressed, talking about other motherfuckers, talking about other people, to other people. Like, nah, man, you ain't got time to do none of that. The only thing you can do is make yourself better and great and shine, and you attract others that's just like you. If not, you're just gonna be by yourself and be that cold ass nigga, person, man, to yourself. And that's what's even more attractive, because that'll bring a woman over to you. You ain't even gotta walk to a woman. In this day and age, you can just, whoever you want, If they're in the area and you just scour the area, this is all semen retention, or semen sacredness, celibacy. You know, you can look where all the women, they're all checking you out. I don't care who you, especially up on your life. I don't care, you ain't got to be the richest mug there or not. You can scour the whole little group. Boom, boom, boom. You can pick who you want. I guarantee you can do and make them come to you. They come right over to you. I'm not a fine, super fine ass dude, dude. I know, it's the energy, man. It's not the ripness or whatever. It's so many mugs. You know, a certain African brother stand next to the nigga, they look like an action figure next to me and shit. And they be young too though, but I'm a little older than my age. I'm a little up there. I'm 2 times grown. But still though, you can attract a woman, shit. And you can attract a woman younger still, half your age plus 5. Not that I'm looking for it, but I definitely still can attract a woman half my age plus 5. You know what I'm saying? Years. So half my age now. I'll be giving it away and shit. I'm in the later 40s. Man. I had to let the little white hairs show. Y'all probably can't see it. I'm like, oh no, I gotta let these people see my little white hairs, man. They be treating me like I'm their age and shit. Like, hold on, man. I don't feel like competing in the gym. I'm over here doing me. I'm old school. I be listening to slow music and shit, winding down on the workout, man. Like, I may listen to something. I may listen to some slow music. Who knows? It's the vibe, right? So yeah. With that being said, man, just be careful with, you know, the red pill people, you know, the toxicity of, you know, the information of how they trying to get you to get women, because most likely the women they're getting with them, you're trying to master a narcissist at their game. But once they find out you're not that strong, oh, they in full psychopathic mode on your ass. They're gonna devour you quick. So the best thing to do if you're dealing with narcissists or a psychopath, if you got a little bit of those in you too, is just be the best supply you can be to them. Make sure they don't forget you though. Like, I know you're gonna leave my ass or do something, but they ain't gonna forget this thing. Stuff like that. Just be the best you can be, you know what I mean? At the same time, it is hard in a world that's full of, you know, narcissistic, fake, masked people putting on masks and trying to be something that they're not. Some people are not even fruitarians like that, you know what I'm saying? But they see that it's about to be popping, and they think that's the only thing that you got to do, but they don't understand it's like a part of the, you know, your semen retention, your light, you know, all that comes and plays the game. That's called sexual, you know, real sexual education, sex education with your own self. Doug, come on now. I got these men pacing back and forth up the street, but yeah. But yeah, you know, that's really what it is, you know what I mean? And not worrying about, you know, later we'll know what's up, how to plant the seed, and you'll learn more about the women too, because now you can take this time off and learn to power you a little bit more too. When I say power you, you know what I'm talking about. You do a little 2-finger thing, all right? And that's good to know, because you can't just be having, you know, sexual relations with a woman and doing things that you ain't got no business doing, like just juggling your finger. That's later on. You're not going to be doing that with people, and that's still damn near sex and shit, so you're not going to be doing all that. But if you do want to learn and you're in that game, then you can know that there's a cushion thing under there that you can play with, that you should know, and it makes it dang gonna power you. You'll just know. I'm gonna show the whole diaphragm, man. We'll have a real breakdown, man, because basically her whole thing is shaped like a wishbone, but it's like 2 blood vessels on the side with the clit at the top right there. And when you go on the inside, it got these 2 little things up under the nose. It does like, yeah, got these little ripple things up under there. When you're on the inside, you can just pull them to you just like that. That little clit that's exposed, you just gotta make sure you pull it back a little bit. It'll be exposed, and then with that little exposure, you just find out the most sensitive spot on there, and then you go to work on it. It ain't about the look with a woman; it's about the feel with her. She loves sex way more than your ass. You see how she responds when you do it to her. If you responded like that, she probably look at you like a little bitch and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be careful with your sexual game. You know, you don't want to turn into a little bitch and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean that in that type of way. You know, so you want to be able to give her those feelings, man. Cause it's fun to watch her respond. But what you do be upset about is you don't want her to do that with nobody else, and that's understandable. So just make sure you put in your work. That's all you gotta do. Make sure you put your work in. And if you continuously busting, you're gonna be more drawn in and invested into her anyways. And then that's gonna be more painful if she developed the strength to leave you, because now you done gave her all your courage. You know, it's in that light. She's drinking you now, or you're busting in her, or whatever it is. This unseen energy is hitting on her. Man, shoot, she got all this confidence lights, G. And other men can see that in her. They don't even know why they're attracted to her. Because that light of a man is very powerful, G. And that's why you got to cultivate it. Because other men like it. That's how powerful it is. I mean, you understand that a woman can like other women. Yeah, they like sucking on titties and shit like that. But when they do have sex, they have to have a dildo. Something that looks like a man, right? So, but we're not multi-orgasmic. We can attract other men. That's how sexual you are. Especially when you cultivate the feminine energy. And that's what you're doing when you cultivate that kundalini, the creative energy and shit. So must be really attracted to you. Like, you know, and then if you're working out and you're eating a certain way, it's like a triple whammy, quadruple whammy and shit. It's like, what the fuck? And they don't even know why they looking at you. All they know, they drawn up to you. They have to come and ask you, you know. That's pretty much it. You know, make sure you get that workout in. Also, this is the year to get that under control too. As a man, you're gonna get it under control. And if you want women, you'll have more women. Don't do them wrong. Be truthful. You know, be truthful in this power right here that you got. Because none of that red pill shit is gonna work in the future. Only your kundalini. She's gonna be seeing. She gonna know her fourth chakra, or at the lowest, her third damn near and shit. So she already know if you're the truth or not. After a while, just give her a little moment. She'll figure out. She'll figure out. So that's why it's best to be the truth. You give me the right wing, huh? Look at that little ass. Look, she jabbed it. You see that? She was like, with the right wing up. See, they thugs. See, I be telling y'all they thugs, man. They act like they ain't, but they thugs, man. Trust me. They're just like us. All lovey-dovey, but thuggy and shit. But yeah, you know, so that's really where it's at with y'all. So every month when the moon is in your sun sign, just figure out what your sun sign is, and we're gonna start looking at the moon. That's a part of everything, you know, and that's cool. We're supposed to know the moon and stuff like that. You know, once you know that's wherever that's in, that's important for you to be able to get that under control, because you're gonna be wanting to hit chicks up, call mugs, get that attention. You're gonna want to do all kinds of stuff. I ain't holding you down, am I? No, you're just chilling, okay? So yeah, that's all it is. You're gonna want to do all that, so you want to control that then. And once that's out the way, boom, you can get back to attracting the female. Then you got, you know, work on your PC muscle. That's very important, because the older you get as a man, the more weaker that PC muscle get, because especially if you're a man that's been having sex or with yourself or jacking off and busting 2-3 nuts a day or 2-3 nuts a month or 2-3 nuts a week. You know what I'm saying? You overwork that damn muscle down there, and that's what keeps you hard. And so you wonder why you can't get hard, even though if you're with a girl, you're like, damn, why can't I get hard? Because your PC muscle is weak. That's the main reason right there. It ain't got nothing to do with the blood flow, none of that shit. Well, that too, but the PC muscle is not raising your shit up. So in order to get that to be hard, you got to get that mug to be, or relax, you got to relax. It raises when it's relaxed. So in order to get that mug hard, you got to do these Kegels like this. I'm not squeezing like this, is like urinating and then stopping. So you get up to about like 100 of them a day, man. You get strong. Within 2 days, you'll be stronger. Your erections be stronger. Even if you're thinking about sex, even if you're having sex, you won't have an orgasm as quick, because you can breathe, and then that orgasm will be that intercosmic orbit while you're having sex and shit. You know what I'm saying? And if it does an intercosmic orbit, you're stimulating your psyche, your defense. You're stimulating your intuition. You're stimulating all this shit, because this light is now inside. If you're having sex, if you're actually having sex, you're not like releasing, and you're about to release, and slow up and let that feeling go. That's a light. That's your light going in and out, up and down, like boom, 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 boom. And by the time you get it up to that point again, it's coming down, you wanted to shoot it right back up. They call it edging, but what you're doing is you're shooting it back up. You're allowing it to get to the base, and boom, now you're back into the game. And it's all with the breath too. It's about breathing too. And you notice that if you're having sex with a woman, it's got to be with the breath, because you got so much things going on with her. She's moaning. She looks pretty. Her scent is good. You know what I'm saying? She may not even be paying attention to you. Who knows, man? You know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of things going on. And if you look or do the wrong thing and your mind is not strong enough, you will release. And if you want to have your back, it's like a boxer that you train yourself so that if that does happen, you won't release, because you have still your PC muscle strong. So it won't really fit. You're so much in shape that the motherfucker did hit you hard, you can't even fall if you wanted to and shit. You like, oh, damn, I must get in shape, nigga. Well, I'm glad I got them 10 miles in, motherfucker. Shit. Now, she would be fucked up. She would have sabotaged you and shit, depending on who you messing with, whoever. You know? It just depends. So, yeah, PC muscle is a very important exercise for, you know, semen retention for sure. Because that's when you're going to see if you're leaking. And if you're leaking, it's almost damn near for nothing. It's like, damn, if you're too much leaking, it's like you're really defeating the purpose and shit. And it's not the fact that the semen's leaking out. It's just the fact that it's like air leaking out of a tire almost. You know what I'm saying? It's like all this air that you've been let leaked out. It's like, damn, you could have prevented that by doing them Kegels and shit. Keep it sealed tight. So that's what we own really when we're doing all that. So get them in 100 to 200 a day, you get to about 500 a day. And then they'll become natural to you. Whenever you're resting, you get 100 in. Whenever you know automatically. So you had never had no erection problems like that. And you add in other exercises. But it's all with semen retention. It's all with that retention of cultivating the energy and shit, dude. That's a hard thing to do, especially if you're young and thinking about women a lot, which is cool. Women are supposed to do what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to be stronger than that. That's the whole thing and shit. Then you get all your honor back with other men, you know what I'm saying? Everybody be honorable. Then the shit is like, you ain't got to worry about all that bullshit. Cause shit, they on they shit too. You know what I'm saying? They too busy focusing on manifesting things for them, and y'all can just meet up later as homies and shit. Y'all become real homies instead of one coveting another because nobody's up on their light. Somebody's not on their light. So they always have some conniving motherfucker behind you, always trying to get up to your shits and try to get in close to you. And saying if the woman's low on her light and shit, of course, shit, she'll try to do you in. You do your homeboy. If he's willing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, they be like, it just happened. Like, no, it don't. You just don't slip and fall in no pussy, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's how that shit works. But yeah, it's very important though. So, this is all gonna be added into the health and wealth awareness, you know what I'm saying, as far as like dealing with, you know, our light body and our working out programs and, you know, just being accountable for whatever type of program you really want to sign up for, because we're going to have all that shit now. It's like you want to do the cutting and you're still eating fruit, how to cut, how to gain when you're eating fruit. You know, I recommend eating according to the seasons. I'm eating according to the seasons. I'm about to start cutting again. So here it's about to start getting warmer. The days is getting longer now, even though it's still dark early, but it's getting longer. So you can feel it in the air, you know what I'm saying? So, and we don't change daylight saving time and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? To eat according to the season, something a little heavier every now and again. I don't have to eat as much. You don't have to eat as much. Depends on where you are with your training or with your development, you know? Like I said, sometimes I splurge a whole week, and I haven't did this in years with some tofurkey stuff. They improved it now, though, but with tofurkey shit. And I ain't even cooking sizzle no things yet. But that's because I ain't in the position to do it. And also, I don't like doing it all the time anyway. It's like I don't like driving all the time. I'll go park a car and go, you know, walk the path somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Or walk back to my car or something like that. I always do that stuff. So, same difference though, you know, with the food. So, about to be springtime. So, it's about to be a good detox season. I started like in the middle of February or something like that. So, good detox. You know, keep the skin clear. Oranges, you know what I'm saying? A lot high orange intake. You know, you don't have to eat a lot of food when you eat that orange. You'd be so surprised. Orange has got so much calories in it. You can get orange juice and damn near be full for the whole day depending on your job. You know what I'm saying? If you're stacking pallets, you might need some type of oatmeal or something. But you ain't gonna need that much. You know, just think about the clarity of your vibe and your energy and your gut. That's the main thing. You want to be clear. You want to be thinking clear. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be just full. Gee, I'm don't want to be constipated. All right, you know, so you want everything to go smooth. And then I eat dates at the end. So every now and again I do it. So it's been like about 10 years that I ate tofurkey stuff. But I'm going to do video series of eating some of that stuff. Just to show some meat eaters that tune in and be like, man, you know, bro, we be eating fruit and shit, man. I don't know, man. Some bros do be tuning in and shit like that. And so I have that. Like, yo, you might want to kind of wean yourself to this and then kind of wean up off of this. Because you'll know how long it takes and how not to do, how much to do it. If you're doing cookouts, then you can do your own little shit, or you can make your own, you know, links and stuff like that. We're gonna do all that when I get into the situation where I can show you. I'm gonna show you and shit. I can do it outside too, though. But you know, right now we're showing it from this angle and shit. But yeah, that being said, I love y'all. Thanks for tuning in, and I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody who jumped up in here. I'm finna go and say to sit back and relax. You know. Try to get some of the sun. Shoot, I love y'all. Peace.